Good evening, good evening. Welcome to Faith Shares Real Wisdom. Glad to have you on tonight to have this conversation. I am out of town, but I refuse to abort my assignment. So I am coming on tonight to share with some favorite people. Good evening, Dr. Gatson. Glad to have you on tonight. Good evening, Denise. Good seeing you on tonight. I know it's a different background, but you do what you have to do to make sure you get the message through. So I am excited. I'm out of town, have to go to an event after a while. Hi, Wally. Glad to have you on. But tonight we literally wanted to share something um, about the heart and guarding your heart. We have talked about being a priority, making yourself a priority, and that is very key in guarding your heart. And I am literally at a conference where there are women sister to sister. Representing because I'm going in tonight, we have our t-shirts on. And while I'm here, the things that always concern me seems to stand out. And this event is literally for women. Hey, PB. So a lot of the things that's always on my heart and we talk about, I find out there are so many women who needs answers. There are so many women whose hearts are literally bleeding and thinking that there is no help. We must. It's essential that you guard your heart. For we know that your heart is a vital organ. And this is where all the blood pumps from. And this is how we live. If your heart stops, your life stops. And you got to remember, and I need you to get that on tonight. If your heart, hi Romaine, if your heart stops, your life stops. Your heart, long as it's flowing, the blood is flowing and your heart is going, life is going. But if it stops, there is no longer life. So I want you to come on in, and I hope that I will share something. And it's I don't want to rush and you get it on the replay, but I want you to know that it is very, very, very important that you guard your heart. And sometimes we need help with guarding our heart because when you have a good heart, and you love people like I do, a lot of times you don't realize you're opening up your heart for hurt. Why? Because it is not a good thing to let everybody in to your heart. Yes, does that sound like, oh, come on, Pastor Faith, you're saying, no. It is not a good thing because letting everybody in puts a lot of pressure that you were not built to handle. You have to guard your heart. It comes in when you hear noise, you know. You see my background. I had to come where there was light because the room was not light up. But you have to guard your heart in so many different ways. You have to guard your heart when it comes to relationships. You have to guard your heart when it comes to family. You have to guard your heart when it comes to your workplace or other people that we let in. Your heart was not made. I need you to understand. Your heart was made so that you could have life and that life could keep that the blood could flow. What happens when we let in the wrong people? It become a blockage. And I need y'all to understand, as they would do the normal heart, when they get a blockage and they try to put stents in so the blood can flow, that's not how we were made when it comes to relationship in life. You must guard your heart. Earlier this week, I said the difference between there being a broken heart and can being fixed and mended when your heart is broken. Yes, it hurts. Yes, it's pain. Yes, we go through so much thinking we're not going to make it. But a broken heart is much different from a shattered heart. When your heart is shattered, if you saw my post, it's literally going to take a miracle from God, because just like a piece of glass or a cup, when it breaks and you got like four pieces, some folks will say, okay, I can put this back together again. I can get some glue and I'm just going to sit it on the shelf, and nobody's going to really know when I glue it back together, even if I have to take something and cover the little lines if you're not careful to glue it correctly. But when glass shatters, what happens? The majority of us sweeps it up and put it in the trash. Because shattered glass, you don't put back together. You can't even find the pieces because it's shattered. And some of us in our past and some of us now, our hearts have been shattered. Shattered, and nobody wants to talk about that. Nobody wants to confront. I've been in a place where my heart was shattered, literally shattered. I experienced a shattered heart. And I'm going to tell you something. When my heart got shattered, I forgave the person, but I would never trust them. I only trust the God that mend me back together again. But the person that shattered my heart, oh no. By the time I was mended back together, because I thought it could not happen, I thought life was over. I thought that the pain would never, ever go away. But when he did that miracle on me, it was for me to live. It was for me to grow. It was for me to know who I am. That's why I am adamant on you making sure that you are a priority. I am so adamant on you knowing your self-worth. I am so serious about you knowing your own identity. Being with some ladies on today, identity seems to be a crisis. When you don't know who you are, you will let everybody into your space. You will be trying to help people that really don't want your help. You will be open to many heart attacks, many attacks on the heart. I'm sharing this with you tonight, but if you know me, I say it while I'm hearing it in the way I hear it. You do not put yourself in a place to be attacked and all you get a result is pain. You're steady bleeding. You're steady dying, but you don't know who to tell. Things go on even in life that, as we would say, that breaks my heart. And I can say things go on, but I have put myself in a place. That is why, too, coaching is very important. Therapy for some is very important. There is nothing wrong at all with a therapist. There's nothing wrong with a coach. When I have a coach, so when things come, people love to say, Pastor Faith, nothing bothers you. I choose not to let it. It does not matter what it is, who it is. I always say, I choose to keep my peace. I will let nothing, and I mean absolutely nothing, take my peace away. Why? Because when you find peace, and it took you a long time to get to that place, you're not going to be so apt to give it away or let somebody take it. The first thing, one of the things we must do is stop having your heart open and giving people access to your heart, and they shouldn't have it. That your heart was made, especially for you to live, for it to flow. I need you to understand so that you can flow, because you can take so much onto the heart that it be your demise. It be the end. Why? Because we try to carry things we were not made to carry. I can love you. I promise you I can. But I'm not going to take it all on me. Why? Yes, I choose to keep my peace. And anything that interrupts my peace, I dismiss. I don't care if it's people, things, whatever, I dismiss. Well, Pastor Faith, how you dismiss? How do you do this, Coach Faith? The first thing I do, I remember who I am. This is why you must know your self-worth. Listening. You have some people that are in relationships, some women, just listening to the stories on even today. And because they don't know their self-worth and they don't have their own identity, if I was only identified by being George's wife, and they'll go, that's George's wife. Oh, you don't know, that's George Washington's wife. Never say my name. They never say that's Faith Washington. I am identified as George Washington's wife. Well, what's the issue? I have a name. I have an identity. Don't let somebody give you what they want you to be. Know who you are. So when you address me by my name, not George's wife. I am more than a wife. There are issues where the man wanted everything, the wife to do everything for him. And let me tell you, single women, something. You better know who you are, and don't you just, because, like I said, I refuse to let anything take my peace. But I saw this preacher, and he has a big ministry somewhere in North Carolina. And I was listening to him, how he talked about women, and he seems to think the main place a woman should be is in the kitchen. Now, he doesn't even look like one of those types. He looks like such a modern, up-to-date man. And he was like, women, you should not have no problems being in the kitchen. Well, that's to each his own. But I'm like, well, how do you really feel about women? Then he turns around and say, if you're single, and women, I need you to hear this. If you single, you should never turn down a date if it's a potential, because you need to be happy that a man asks you out. Because I let nothing take my peace and I practice my words, because I want to just find him and tell him something. Because I'm like, so you saying women, y'all are desperate. That's what he was saying. Y'all so desperate that if somebody asks you, you don't have much of a choice but to feel like, hey, I got to see who's going to look me over to put me in the kitchen. You done lost your mind. Let me tell you something. If my husband would have told me in the beginning, we wouldn't have been married, because he ain't gonna tell me that. But if he was to tell me that, listen, I'm marrying you, but I want you to cook, clean, and do all my demands, I would have told him, are you saying you about to hire a maid? Because I'm not the one. I will not be that. I promise you that. And this man is literally teaching this and have a lot of men in his ministry and a lot of women. And I was like, okay, now I see. If you don't know who you are, you'll get caught up in that same. I wish I might, if you know me, I wish I might be single and acting like you desperate and they doing you a favor to ask you out. No, ma'am. No ma'am, no ma'am, and I mean no ma'am. I don't care he wrong. I don't care what he read, what he quote. As we will say, yeah, you right, uh, Tanya, the devil is a liar. Women, when you know who you are, you're not gonna make somebody think you some piece of meat and I'm your maid, and that's what I'm supposed to be for. And if you decide you want kids, I'm just that. Not today, tomorrow, or even when a new year come in, we not doing that. I promise you that one. And if you wrong me, I'm gonna tell you, because I can tell you a whole lot of things without cussing you out. You will think I did. And I won't use one curse word, but I got some choice words for you. Don't you ever put yourself, lower your standards to go out on a date with somebody that's probably cheap anyway. Don't do it. Don't do it. See, that's another way. That's a good way of setting yourself up to get your heart broken. That's a good way, and then you be sitting with a group of women with your heart bleeding, with your heart hurting. Because I trust, this is why you need a relationship. The God I serve, I have a relationship with him. Because he ain't even gonna let me be walking through those doors. And if I walk through them through ignorance, I'm not gonna stay there. I'm not gonna stay there. And I'm telling you, because there's a whole lot of stuff out of here. Women, when you are a priority, you're not gonna go for this. I'm telling you, you were not made to open your heart to everyone. Because after a while, once you open it up, as I said, you'll start getting blockage and you won't even know because you keep taking it on. And people start making you feel like you should. And you ain't healed from your own personal stuff, but you taking on somebody else's. Don't do it. Coach Faye said, don't do it. It can be family issues. Do not take this stuff because it will cause you not just to quit, but to give up. And who are you giving up on? On you. On you. It is so important to guard your heart, especially in this day and time, because I'm going to tell you, you will let this same organ get you into a place in a space you can't get out of. And all the people, toxic folks that you let in will cause your death. I am so serious. Those same people will cause your death. And as we would say, if we were in church, I know I'm talking right. I know I'm talking right. You cannot open your heart to everyone. You got to guard your heart. This is because when your heart stops, you stop. When your heart stops, you die. And this is not a time to die. This is not a time to quit. This is a time again to look in that mirror, know who you are, say who you are, be who you are. No, you're not used to it. The ones that's not used to it, and it is not we're not talking about no conceit. We talking about speaking life into your life. We talking about unloading some things. We talking about doing the right thing so the blood can keep flowing. Because when we talk about the heart, once that heart, because it can be damaged, but you're still going. And I can talk about, and I can say something about the heart even worse because my daughter, who is healed from so many things, including the heart, the lungs, including the kidneys. She's healed from so many things. But one of the things that I tell her, no ma'am, stop letting everybody pull on you. Stop trying to be there for everybody. Because guess what? That's pulling on her heart. That's interrupting the flow. And I need you, ladies, I see my husband on. Hi. to my king. He want me to come your home, y'all. He missed me. But I'm telling you, you do nothing. You concentrate on your healing. And let me tell you something. When you're healing, you got to guard your heart. Listen, I don't care if I'm mentally, I need a mental healing. Guard your heart. Because if that's not pumping, you ain't got to worry about what's going to go on with the brain, because that's just it. This is the life. Your heart is the life of you. It's your heart. It's your heart. And we say this thing, and it's because of our community. We'll say, my heart goes out. Well, I don't need my heart to go out like that. So I need to know what I'm saying. I need to know what I'm conveying to folks. I still need to guard it. Why I am in a place of helping you. I could not be a coach or help anybody if I still had my heart out there bleeding. Because what happens, you stop. You stop. There are so many. There are some, their heart is bleeding because of relationships. There are some, their heart is bleeding because of their kids. A young lady, she was talking about how she lost her son tragically. And one of the things I always say, it does not matter. In this case, it was gun violence. It was still her son. So as you say, how hard it is, and people just embraced her. And I told her, it's okay to grieve, because nobody can tell you how long that you can grieve, because it's a process. This month will be 15 years my mother transitioned, and I still miss her like it was yesterday. So usually, sometime this month, I usually shed tears. I try not to. But I said, okay, I'm going to make sure I make this a good and a better month. Because next month, my husband's mother transitioned on Christmas Eve. So we have to do different things. My heart was broken one time from a previous relationship, and then not just a relationship, a marriage. It was a marriage, but it was married on one side. And my heart was shattered, literally shattered, not knowing when these things happen, wanting to just take my life because I gave my life to someone I thought loved me as much as I had loved them at that time. And it took a long time, because guess what? I wasn't around the people who helped me to heal. There's like, it's okay, you get over it. And it took a long time to get over the hurt, to even process, because I had no one to help me process that pain. I just went on living like I got to take care of my kids. And that's what women do. And then some don't have kids. And people be like, it's okay, you'll get over it. But this thing is deep rooted. If someone say, you know what, you got to do this, but you got to guard your heart. You got to know who you are. You got to know your identity. You got to love yourself. You got to be a priority. Don't put yourself under for no one. It's different than being submissive and being used. Oh, believe me. Oh, there's a difference. I don't have a problem submitting to my husband, but I will not be his slave. I promise you that. Mm-hmm. It ain't up for debate. It is not up to, well, she shouldn't say that. Oh, I said it, I meant it, I won't take it back. I didn't marry George Washington to become his slave. I married him because I loved him, and I was becoming his wife. So Sunday, we'll be married 31 years. So you better believe for 31 years, I wasn't no slave. But I was a queen and I was loved. And will continue. So I'm not talking and say, oh, just do. No, guard your heart. And even now, I guard my heart. I keep my peace. I will not let my peace go. My kids can tell you that. They can act straight up crazy, and I get in their space and tell them, you won't take my peace, but you'll need me before I need you. And they be like, here she go. I mean that. Why? I guard my heart. I keep my peace. When I do that, I will live much longer and a happy life at that, a good life at that, a life of abundance at that. This is why I need you to guard your heart. So many of you let so many people into your heart, and you cannot handle that. You cannot handle that. Let me tell you something. You can be loving and you can be good to so many, but don't lay your life on the line for others who will walk away and their heart beating strong. And you trying to figure out. There's things that happen in life, and some things we don't see coming. But everything that you can prevent, I say on tonight, prevent it. Do not put yourself in that space. Single ladies, do not lower your standards to, and y'all know my word, to get trash. Do not do it. You deserve more than that. You deserve something that's gonna keep the heart flowing. And be like, because every time you look, you just feel good. You're happy. Oh, that's a good one, Tara. Don't let your love compromise your life. And I'm gonna talk. Let me tell you, the women, we good for that one. Oh yes, we are. We good for that one. And you may tell the other lady something. And there's nothing worse when you have given up and you love somebody and they walk away talking about, I don't love you no more, or I don't want to be with you no more. And I said, Mo, they say all those things, tearing your heart apart. You feel it, you cry, you try to get the money, and you give your life. You give your life to these people, these men. You give your life for them. You do all of this. And what happens? You do all of this, and they shatter your heart. But I am a living witness. Miracles do happen. Because when I tell you, if you never seen me and my husband in person, I tell everybody I got me a little short man and he got him a tall woman. I said the odd couple, but we the right couple. So 31 years tell you, because this sister here ain't putting up with much of nothing. Because and some of y'all on here understand this, when you go through the right way, baby, you ain't trying to repeat. You're not trying to repeat it. No. I am worthy and deserve the best. That's right, Renee. We deserve the best. We are worthy, nothing less. I don't know about y'all. See, this is how you get these messed up relationships, because you don't know. Don't let somebody tell you your standards a little too high. You ain't gonna get nobody like that. So you telling me that my standards are so high and that God don't have nobody for me? You lie. Because there is somebody that's there exactly just for you. But when you lower your standards, you're going to have a low relationship too. You're going to have a lot of heartache too. Don't do it. I'm talking to the single queens, and I'm talking to the married queens. Don't do it. I see too many elderly woman, I should say a woman full of wisdom, saying a woman going through so much pain, so much heartache. Why? Trying to keep Him looking one way is safe, and she's starting to get sick. He killed the first one, and now the second one's getting sick, and everybody is trying to protect his identity. Let me tell y'all something. Protect yourself. Love yourself. Know who you are. Do not let somebody else give you your identity. Do not. My name is Faith. My mother gave me my name. DNA is real, but I know who I am. I know what I deserve. I'm not going to sit there talking about, I don't deserve it. I'm going to take whatever he gives me. I'm just glad to have a husband. Well, honey, I just need you to know, I don't want to just have a husband. I need to have a great husband. I don't even want a good husband. I need somebody to love me like I love myself. Because what happens is when you don't love yourself, you just, oh, well, I'm so happy at least I got somebody to love me. No, you don't even know what real love is because you're not a priority. I met a young lady today and I told her, make yourself a priority. She was going through something and we was trying to help her. And I said, if you get a roommate that knows there's an issue and they're just putting themselves first, I said, first of all, you got the wrong roommate. Second of all, you need to say something. I said, now, if it was my people, they'll be like, listen, Pastor Faith, this is the problem, da 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 da. And I mean, because she was ready to fly out, to fly back, because it literally was getting to her. And I said, but you know what, baby? You do this a lot. You always showing up for people. You put everything for yourself aside. It was a coaching moment, just met her. I said, you push everything for you aside to help people. In the minute you need help, and I'm talking about in a small but critical way, people act like it does not matter. And you keep doing this to yourself because I saw more than the situation that was going on. I said, you got to stop, and you need to stop today. And when I see you tonight, I need to know that you made some changes. I need to know that you open up your mouth and say, this right here is hurting me. Guard your heart. I said, you can't keep living like this. It's going to kill you. But I already had this thing on me about the heart, and I'm having a conversation with a young lady I just met from another state. Because why? There's something about, yeah, we are nurturers. But you can't, listen, we're nurturers, but don't kill yourself trying to help somebody else have life. Don't kill yourself trying to help somebody else have life. Because that's not the way it goes. I'll help you. I'll guide you. I'll coach you. But I'm not going to die as a result. I will not die as a result. And I mean that. That's something I say, you might find. I literally mean that. Y'all know what I always say? I love me more than your likes. I'm not going to kill myself because you want me to be the answer to all the things that you don't even want to try. Come on. Guard your heart. All of this has to do with your blood flow. When you look, things are happening. Your head is hurting. You're starting to have migraines and never had it before. You're starting to have pains in the part of your body because the manifestation of you not guarding your heart begins to show up. You have to guard your heart. It goes right back to the example what they said on the plane. If you have a child with you, you put the mask on first, then you try to help your child, because if you can't breathe, the child is not gonna live anyway. If my heart ain't pumping right, if I'm not living, I'm not going to barely be living and trying to save the world. That is not my responsibility. I will help people, but I will help those that want to be helped. I will help those that want to put the effort in to make sure that their heart is pumping, that their heart is not bleeding all over the place, that we're stopping it. Not someone where they want to just take all from me and do nothing. I'm helping somebody tonight, because this is what's happening. Y'all keep helping people that don't want no change. Y'all keep trying to help people that don't even want to improve their lifestyle. All they want to do is drain you, suck the life out of you like they're a leech, suck all the blood up out of you, and then go about their business and say, you didn't take the time to help them. Well, let me help you. Leave them kind of people alone. Leave them alone. I am so serious about guarding your heart. Some that's listening to the replay, you are walking around with ailments that you do not have to have, because you don't know how to let go, and you keep letting people use you and recycle your kindness over and over and over and over again. And love, let me tell you something. You need to forgive and move on. Because forgiveness is for you. I forgive those people who use me, but I am going on. I go on to better. Why? Let me tell you something. It was good for the heart. It was good for the heart. And not only the heart, it was good for the mind. And then you'll find out, your life is better. Because you don't realize how much you take on from others. You know, it's just like, I could talk about this because I'm included. It's just like somebody with high blood pressure or diabetes. You keep telling them what it takes to no longer be a diabetic. They choose everything on the side to stay a diabetic, and not the things to eliminate. High blood pressure. You know, and most people do, everything to eliminate having high blood pressure. But they choose, we choose to do all those things. And then when your head is hurting, you want to drink down a gallon of vinegar. Come on. You got to choose you. Do you want to live or do you want to die? Do you want to walk literally? Because this is the thing. For those of us that are Christians and believers, and it says, and everybody like to quote the scripture, by his stripes we are already healed, and that is absolutely the truth. God is responsible for your healing, but you are responsible for your health. I just want y'all to know, I'm going to say that again. God is responsible for your healing, so that is done. But you are responsible for your health. It ain't the devil, it's you. The devil ain't here jabbing down all the stuff you don't supposed to eat, put in your mouth. You know, we just love good eating, as they would say, things that taste good. But you need to love your life more than that taste. I know what it's like to take care of people that are sick. I also know what it's like to love folks and they refuse to listen. I know personally what it's like, but then you get to a certain age and you be like, I got to get rid of this or I'm going to leave here. It ain't no devil trying to kill me. It's me killing myself. Listen, you got to meet yourself at your truth. You're so dependent on the bandage that the doctor gives you. And I can get that. I used to adjust my own insulin just so I could eat something I wasn't supposed to eat and eat a lot of it. But oh, the light had to come on if I wanted to live. And when I started losing people from diabetes, which leads to everything, heart attacks, kidney failure, everything, it attacks your main organs, diabetes. And stop walking around here talking about it runs in the family because y'all all eat alike. That's why it runs in the family. When you all eat alike, okay, some of it skip, most of it fall on. Change, there are things. We are responsible for our health. Literally, we are responsible for our health. And I know I'm not the only one to notice, and you got to notice, and that's another way of guarding your heart. And if you want your heart to keep pumping right, we got to start doing more healthy things. Because I don't know what state you live in, but I promise you on our end in South Carolina, the majority of the doctors are nothing like they used to be. They're not caring. And a lot of them going to tell you, well, if you don't do such and such, you're going to die by such and such time. I mean, cancer's running around like candy. And it'd be like, okay, this and that, we might have caught this in time, or you might be on your way out of here. They're not trying to soften the blow. Point blank, you got this amount of time to live. And they're telling your loved ones this, you right there, and you're trying to hold it together. We got to take our life. We got to guard our heart. We got to do whatever it is to keep the blood flow going right. Whatever, by any means necessary, guard your heart. By any means necessary, do what it takes to live. And that is when it comes back to, if it's cutting folks off, cut them. Cut them off. If cutting you off is going to cause me to live longer, I choose me over you. That ain't selfish. That's just wisdom. So for those that are saying, well, that's kind of stuff. No, it's not. That's wisdom. Because die early and see if they come dying behind you. They're not going to die behind you. They're going to be like, oh, I thought Faith knew better. Guard your heart. Guard your heart. I am so serious. There are so many women suffering. I just was in a room full of them from so much hurt in different types. Some come from marriage, some come from family. One of the things, I'm gonna just be plain with it. If you don't guard your heart, you're abusing yourself. Self-sabotage. I pray for many. I love many. But I finally got to a place in life to know if I don't put myself first, nobody else gonna put me first. I need you to hear that. If you don't put yourself first, Nancy or Renee, Terrible, and whoever else is on listening, if you don't put yourself first, nobody else is gonna put you first. They gonna say it, but you have to do it. You have to do it. My phone is ringing on silent by somebody I definitely wouldn't let kill me. Coming up with, let me tell y'all something. People will use your time, take up all your time on crazy stuff, and they ain't trying to do nothing else better. Love yourself. Know who you are. Make sure you're a priority. Guard your heart. This is where your life is. When the blood is flowing, this is where your life is. If your heart stops, And I know in the medical field, you know, they get those paddles to try to bring you back, and it brings you back. And some people feel all right, and some people still suffer. Well, this your jump start tonight. Me, guard your heart. This way, you don't have to go through the unnecessary things anymore. You start new. You're putting, oh, Coach Faye said about being a priority. I'm making myself a priority. I have to realize I have to guard my heart. And guarding your heart, let me tell you something, makes you watch what goes in your ear gates. What you're hearing, what people are speaking, that's part of guarding your heart. Because let me tell you something, you can just hear things and that thing just sticks with you. And it begins to penetrate and it bothers. I'm going to keep it real because, you know, everybody like to say the devil. Watch what people bring you. Just stop them because you don't have time for it. You don't have time for anything that's going, listen, anything that interrupts your peace, stop it. Stop them. Stop him. Just stop it. Because I hear so many crying and carrying on, and usually it's a relationship. Some's a husband, some's not a husband. And I'm not going to sit up here and lie and say, child, you get over it that easy. No, you don't. You know, people will tell you that, but I'm not the one. Because when you really have let yourself get to a place, it's not that simple. But you can do it. Make yourself a priority. Friends, family, whatever makes your heart bleed, cut. Cut. And then let the healing begin. Because you're necessary. You are necessary. And you are more than special. You are extraordinary. You're an extraordinary person. Even one of the things you need to tell yourself when you're in that mirror, I am an extraordinary person. I am unique. Hey, I might not be accepted in with this group, but it's okay because they're missing out on my uniqueness. They're missing out on something that could have blessed them. Know your worth. Do not let other people identify you. Know who you are yourself. Know it. I'm going to let you go. It's almost 50 minutes in, but I hope that I have helped someone on tonight or on the replay. Guard your heart. Let me tell you something. Your heart is more valuable than gold and silver. Why? Because that's what life is. It does you no good to have gold and silver if you're not breathing, if you're not living. Make sure you're a priority. Guard your heart. It was literally on me. I got up and not knowing that I was going to end up in a session, seeing so many. But as I told this young lady on today, it's time for you to put yourself first. It's that time. Because we were taught a way. And they would say, you're being selfish. And I have told you, and I will not take it back, it's self-love. It's self-care. So many of us that's listening, that's on, that will listen, we have put our heart out there and people have trampled on it, not turning back to see if any harm was done. And some things are intentional. I'm not the one that's going to lie to you. Some people do things intentional Stop letting people in your space and they don't deserve to be there. And I'm not going to fix it and I'm not going to take it back. I meant exactly what I just said. If people want to take it and get deep with it and say, why is Coach Faith saying this or why is Pastor Faith saying it? It sounds like she's trying to put unforgiveness or like some type of hate. Ain't no hate. It's all love. It's all love. I love you more than the ones who hurt you. See, that's what happened. That's how you know that you like being uncomfortable in hurt. Because you don't want to move from that place because you're so comfortable being uncomfortable that you'll take whatever and let people do anything they want to you. And you will justify them destroying you. Well, I'm not that one. I'm not that sister. I'm letting you know now. Guard your heart, cut them off, walk away. Forgive them. They don't have to stay present for you to forgive them. I forgive many. And live your best life. I love you, and I'm going to end this live on that note. Loving all of you. Guard your heart. May the abundance be upon you, abundance of love, self-love, loving yourself, like, share. Those that may be going through something, like, share with them. There are people that go through things and they have no one to talk to. They can't trust anybody. Ladies, let's learn to love on each other, yet guard your heart. I'm serious about that. Guard your heart. It is very important that you guard your heart. Faith shares. Love you. www.faithwashington.net can go on. We sent out the essentials list when we were talking about preparing so that you can have peace during a time of chaos. There was something that Renee sent me and shared, and I said I was going to go get it, Renee, to test it out and then put it out. We will do conversation and brainstorming because it can be so good. Make sure that you subscribe for the weekly faith tips. We sent out the little envelope challenge, which shows you how it goes by twos, and you can just do your envelope. Some people put more than one amount in the same envelope instead of having so many, but it works. So there's a lot that we can do. This is a place of love. This is not a place of hatred, chaos, confusion, or drama. It's a place of love. And this is why I tell you on tonight, guard your heart, love yourself, live your best life, know your identity, walk in that. Be proud of who you are. Get up in that mirror and say you are an extraordinary individual, and I like you. Come on, you got to tell yourself, because if you're waiting on somebody else to tell you, it may never happen. Or someone may lie to you to get in there, destroy it, and leave you there. So guard your heart, love yourself. I put a thing out today. Peace, prayer, all of this is things you can do for yourself. Meditation, guarding your heart, loving yourself, and that is not a problem with you loving others and having boundaries, because boundaries is the big B word we all need to be doing. I love you. See you on next week. What Faith shares next Friday night. Prayerfully, it'll be with a different view. But it's okay. I was going to make it happen. I was not going to say, oh, I'm not showing up. I said, I'm going to do this. And now I'm going to go to the conference. But I love you all, and I love you for life. Love yourself. Please guard your heart. Good night.